ladies and gentlemen, members of the board of directors, and members of the Council of Elders of the Cameroon Renaissance Group, dear friends, journalists from the various television, radio channels, and journals. Today's press conference concerns the official launch of the fundraising campaign for my campaign for the election of the President of the Republic scheduled for next October. As you can imagine, victory in an election as decisive as this year's presidential election will largely depend on our ability to ensure efficient monitoring of all electoral operations, as well as the quality of the electoral campaign, whose main goal is to convince Cameroonians of the relevance of our vision for our country, expressed in a clear, technically sound, and financially feasible program. This cannot be done without sufficient financial resources. The fundraising that we are launching today is therefore one of the essential conditions for our electoral victory, that is to say, for the advent of a change in peace through the ballot box, which will lead us to a new Cameroon, free and reconciled with itself on the political level, hardworking and prosperous on the economic level, and protective of all Cameroonians on the social level. Unlike the ruling party, which for 4 decades has been happily using the financial and logistical resources of the state for its electoral campaigns, the CRM has always counted only on its militants and sympathizers for the organization of its meetings, its conventions, and its electoral campaigns. For the upcoming elections, we are still counting on them and other Cameroonians of goodwill to enable us to approach this deadline in solid conditions, in any case less destitute than in 2018. Our fundraising campaign is carried out in accordance with the relevant law in force. It is based on Article 13, Paragraph 1 of Law Number 80/056 of December 19, 1990, relating to political parties, which provides that, I quote, any political party may receive gifts and movable legacies coming exclusively from its members or persons established in Cameroon, unquote. It is therefore in accordance with this legal provision that our fundraising campaign is aimed at all militants of all the units, all the communal federations, departmental or divisional federations and regional federations of the CRM, as well as our national bodies, which are the Board of Directors, the Committee of Elders, and the National Mediation and Arbitration Committee. It is in accordance with this same provision of the aforementioned law that this fundraising campaign is aimed at any person established in Cameroon wishing to contribute freely. On the other hand, our fundraising campaign is not aimed at individuals, organizations, foreign powers, or foreign states in accordance with Article 278, Paragraph 1 of the Electoral Code, which provides that, I quote, "A political party is prohibited from receiving subsidies and funding from individuals, organizations, foreign powers, and/or foreign states," unquote. The fundraising for my election campaign is conducted with the utmost transparency. I inform the public once again that since November 5th, 2024, I have formally written to the Minister of Territorial Administration, the Minister of Finance, and the General Delegate for National Security to inform them of the launch of our fundraising campaign, inviting them, if they wish, to support it in strict compliance with the law. In order to ensure the traceability of funds, accounts have been created with certain banking institutions and telephone operators, particularly for mobile accounts. All these accounts will be presented, as well as our targeted budget in detail by the National Treasurer according to the rules of our party, Dr. Oko Apollinaire, here with us in this hall. I therefore wish to reassure all contributors that all measures have been taken to ensure transparency and compliance with the law in order to avoid unfounded suspicions and any erroneous, inappropriate, or malicious interpretation, in short, unfounded hostility from the public authorities regarding the conduct of this fundraising campaign. I therefore call on you all to contribute with complete peace of mind in order to be actor in our victory campaign, or in our victorious campaign. To ensure a successful campaign, we will need a logistical deployment commensurate with our objective, which is victory. During the elections campaign, our campaign teams will have to deploy in all regions of the country to explain to our fellow voters the relevance of our political project, which we are convinced is the best offer in the national political field as in 2018, and convince them to adhere to it by voting for the candidate carrying this project. The funds to be collected will also have to allow us to ensure the logistics of the campaign in terms of travel and acquisition of materials and other communication media such as campaign gadgets. During the election, we will have to ensure the effective presence of our representatives in all polling stations. This is a major challenge and a crucial aspect of monitoring electoral operations in our country. Theoretically, such a presence might not be necessary if ELECAM fulfilled its role as an independent and neutral organization organizing the elections, but we know that is not the case. This is why monitoring by the representatives of each candidate has become the key to the outcome of elections in Cameroon. You can therefore understand why this fundraising campaign is decisive, because it must ensure the effective presence of our representatives in the polling stations, and this is the best way to secure the victory. Since my resignation from the government of our country in November 2011, and my commitment to politics with the creation of the CRM in 2012, no adversity has been spared me. I have gone through all forms of preparation administrative repression to prevent me from going to bring my message of hope to my fellow compatriots in the various regions of our country. Slander and defamation through all sorts of lies about me without the justice system ever following up on my various complaints against the perpetrator of these acts. Illegal and arbitrary detention for nearly 9 months, as well as my de facto sequestration in my home for nearly 3 months. The shameful attempt at revisionism of the services rendered to my country, and so on. This is how a Cameroonian is treated under this regime, and truly assumes his opposition to the disastrous way in which our country is managed, and clearly commits itself not to betray the Cameroonian people. But because my commitment to working for the advent of a new Cameroon is unwavering, I have remained constant for 13 years. I therefore ask you to make an effort, an exceptional effort, perhaps the most decisive, so that what we have been fighting for all these years finally becomes a reality. The upcoming presidential election is the mother of political battles for the rebirth of Cameroon. My dear friends, we are less than 6 months away from the convocation of the electoral body for the elections. There is therefore no more time to lose. Your financial contribution is your participation in the change in our country in this year 2025. I'm counting on the militants and sympathizers of the Cameroon Renaissance movement individually, as in the past, and on all other people established in Cameroon. Thank you for your time. Je vais maintenant donner la parole au Dr Oko, le trésorier national du parti, en fonction, qui va présenter donc le budget, le montant global du budget visé par la levée des fonds. Je signale, mais il faut le préciser, que ce montant a été arrêté par le Conseil national du parti et il vous donnera également des indications, des détails sur les comptes, les numéros de compte et les numéros de mobile money. Merci.